I'm actually not supposed to be a speaker for this press conference, but I suppose I'm here in order to support our three speaker who are came from the co-organizers of this conference. But as Ginny mentioned before, you're all welcome to the conference that will happen in the next 2 days. And last time we came here, I was myself sitting here talking about the story of the Mekong mainstream dam back to not just only a few, like half a years ago. We only have 8 dams proposed on the Mekong mainstream, on the lower Mekong. But now suddenly it became 11 to 12 already, very quickly. And I guess the key thing that we would like to point out today is the reason of the conference is that after almost 2 whole years of the movement of the local people and the civil society group in the region, the Mekong region, and internationally, we haven't got a real dialogue that we can bring the so-called developers of the Mekong mainstream dam and the local people or the civil society group to speak. And this time, in the next 2 days, is a chance for us to host our own conference that we can invite the key actors of the Mekong to join in. And I hope you all will join us. I think that's the key message I'd like to do, and later on we can come back to talk about the detail about the dam issues.
And there is a copy of the DVD we were showing as you were waiting for the presser to begin. We have both an English language version as well as a Thai version. Please welcome yourselves to pick up a copy of that. We're going to start we have 3 speakers with us, as well as, Sutep's just arrived, a photojournalist. So we're joined today by Dr. Sorachai. He's an associate professor from the Social Research Institute at Chula. He will be addressing the civil society networks within the region that are trying to target advocacy campaigns on the regional and international level for policy change as well as legislation to examine some of these issues. And we're also pleased to welcome Kun Suni, who many of you know. She wears many hats here, and the media go to her for different issues. She is the commissioner from the National Human Rights Commission of Thailand. She will be talking about the human impact of these mega infrastructure projects upon the communities. And we also have with us Kun Sombat from Lao PDR, and he will be taking us through the kind of chain link connection of this development process, looking from Lao as it goes to the region and then internationally on what is actually being done and the impact of these infrastructure projects. We're going to begin now as well before the speakers, because Sutep is here. Are you ready, Sutep, with the slideshow? We have with us Sutep Kritsanavarin. He is an award-winning documentary photographer whose work that we're about to see was an independent project that he pursued for almost 3 years, photographing all aspects of the Mekong from both Lao side, the Thai border, from the China side, trying to document the fragile ecosystems as well as the traditional communities of fisher folks who are going to be displaced. This documentary that you're about to see an edited version of garnered him the prestigious Blue Earth Alliance International Photojournalism Award, which is given to a photographer whose work spotlights a pressing environmental issue in the world. He also received the Days Japan International Photojournalism Award earlier this year for this work. His work has been published widely in international magazines, and he has exhibited as well in Thailand and Europe. And we're going to start by seeing these quite remarkable and rare images to set the scene before our speakers begin. Sutep is just setting up the... and if we could turn off the light, Pirong, sorry, just the front light while we see these images. Thank you.
so hard. Ooh, Lord, my trouble so hard. Don't nobody know my trouble but God. Don't nobody know my trouble but God. Ooh, Lord, my trouble so hard. Ooh, Lord, my trouble so hard. Don't nobody know my trouble but God. Don't nobody know my trouble but God. Went down the hill the other day, so got happy and stayed all day. Went down the hill the other day, so got happy and stayed all day. Ooh, Lordy, trouble so hard. Ooh, Lordy, trouble so hard. Don't nobody know my trouble but God. Don't nobody know my trouble but God. Ooh, Lordy, trouble so hard. Ooh, Lordy, trouble so hard. Don't nobody know my trouble but God. Don't nobody know my trouble but God. When in the room, didn't stay long. Looked on the bed and brother was dead. When in the room, didn't stay long. Looked on the bed and brother was dead. Ooh, Lordy, my trouble so hard. Ooh, Lordy, my trouble so hard. Don't nobody know my trouble but God. Don't nobody know my trouble but God. Ooh, Lordy, my trouble so hard. Ooh, Lordy, my trouble so hard. Don't nobody know my trouble but God. Don't nobody know my trouble but God. Ooh, Lordy, trouble so hard. Ooh, Lordy, trouble so hard. Don't nobody know my trouble but God. Don't nobody know my trouble but God. Ooh, Lordy, trouble so hard. Ooh, Lordy, my trouble so hard. Ooh, Lordy, my trouble so hard. Don't nobody know my trouble but God. Don't nobody know my trouble but God. Ooh, Lordy, my trouble so hard. Ooh, Lordy, my trouble so hard. Don't nobody know my trouble but God. Don't nobody know my Ooh, Lord, trouble so hard. Don't nobody know my trouble but God. Don't nobody know my trouble but God. Ooh, Lord, trouble so hard. Ooh, Lord, trouble so hard.
So these truly outstanding and rare images are here to set the stage for today's press conference. We can see the remarkable beauty and diversity and centuries-old traditional livelihood of these fishermen. Sutep was one of the only, if not the only, photojournalist to have had access after many repeat pursuits of actually documenting those traditional fishing communities out in very difficult circumstances, as you can see with the giant catfish migration and also the very rare images of the mythical Mekong river dolphins. So he is available afterwards if any of you want to also ask questions, and he'll be making some brief remarks at the end. His website on this project has more information for those of you who would like to see the contextual background of this project that he's working on. So thank you very much again, Sutep, for sharing that. We're going to start now with Dr. Surachai first from Chula.
Thank you, Jenny. Thank you very much for having this opportunity for us to be with you. As I am from a university in Thailand, Chulalongkorn, which is also quite much concerned with what the new developments in the region. I have maybe 2 or 3 points to make here. First is that the kind of developments we have been going through have been very much in terms of big projects and economic, which also meaningful in the sense of economic integration of the region. But there has been so big a gap or gaps between this and social and cultural sustainability concerns. We have these big gaps on policy level as well as on the real ground that relates to people's livelihoods. Secondly, I would like also to say that in Thailand we can also feel that there are political issues within political challenge within the country and country with the neighboring countries. But oftentimes these political challenges are not so much consistent with the real ecological challenge that where we have to live together. Whatever will happen in terms of national politics, but the real reason that we really have to find is that how can we live together for a longer and sustainable future. So in that sense, we cannot only talk about national interest, whatever that national means, but we have to go beyond that also, while recognizing that, but go beyond to the common interest or common public interest in this region. And for that, so far we have not had a platform for that kind of discussion. So far the policy making platforms have been so much on economic and national level or business level. So my last point is related to the gap of that, how to fill that kind of gap. So we do need to have a net, things beyond national, but things that can accommodate the regional concerns of our peoples and of the world. The regional civil society have no real platform, so there we need role of civil society actors, including universities, civil groups, communities, and NGOs in the region, and any other people in the business or even government who are concerned for these new additional voices. We need really create our regional publics or transnational publics who can follow up all these big projects, which also have both positive but not only so, but much more untalked about the negative side of this, how to balance them out. So I have in that sense that we need a community of networks of media, academics, both in the institutional or non-institutional, and community people who work throughout these issues. So I look forward for that. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Surachai. We're now going to go on to Kun Suni, who feels most comfortable speaking in her native language, and Kun Premurdi will provide translation at intervals. เชิญนะคะ
ต้องขอโทษนะคะที่พูดเป็นภาษาไทยแต่คิดว่าในส่วนของคณะกรรมการสิทธิมนุษยชนแห่งชาติเนี่ยได้พบว่าตั้งแต่มีเขื่อนบางเขื่อนเกิดขึ้นมาแล้วในประเทศจีนหรือมีการระเบิดแก่งแม่น้ำโขงก็ได้ก่อผลกระทบต่อธรรมชาติและระบบนิเวศของบางส่วนมาบ้างแล้ว
I'm sorry that I have to use the Thai language, but I think the point that I'd like to convey here is relate to the situation of the dam that already been built in the Mekong mainstream in China, and also the rapid blasting that you might know that already happened, and that caused the impact to the livelihood along the Mekong, at least in Thai side already. This is the observation that the Human Rights Commission of Thailand also involved.
รวมทั้งการที่พยายามจะสร้างเขื่อนในลำน้ำสารวิน
This is the situation is happened in the same way as along the Sarawin rivers about the dam.
เพราะฉะนั้นโครงการสร้างเขื่อนขนาดใหญ่ในลำน้ำโขงที่จะเกิดขึ้นมาต่อเนื่องเนี่ยจะส่งผลกระทบต่อสิทธิมนุษยชนของชุมชนหลายประเทศอย่างร้ายแรง
So in our perspective, the situation of the proposed Mekong mainstream dam on the lower Mekong will affect to the livelihood of the people, not only for one country, of course, but it will be the huge impact across the border.
ข้อแรกที่สุดก็คือว่าผลกระทบต่อการบิดเบือนสภาพธรรมชาติซึ่งคุณสุเทพได้แสดงให้เห็นถึงความสวยงามแล้วก็ความยิ่งใหญ่ของระบบนิเวศเดิม
Firstly, about the biodiversity, the environment of the Mekong will be all changed. As you see from Kun Suthep's slide, this is what we have still having on the Mekong River, and it will all different.
มันไม่ได้กระทบแค่ริมลำน้ำโขงแต่ว่าสายน้ำหลักๆของแต่ละประเทศที่เชื่อมโยงกับลำน้ำโขงจะได้รับผลกระทบต่อระบบนิเวศคาบเกี่ยวกันไปด้วย
Of course, not only the Mekong mainstream. If something happen on the mainstream, it will affect to the tributary that most of the people use in this region.
และสิ่งที่ยิ่งใหญ่กว่านั้นก็คือวิถีชีวิตของผู้คนชุมชนมากมายที่อยู่แต่ละประเทศก็จะได้รับผลกระทบที่ละเมิดสิทธิมนุษยชน
So most importantly, for our perspective, what will happen to the people is their right over their own resources will be destroyed by this project.
แม้ว่าประชาชนไทยอาจจะลุกขึ้นมาคัดค้านได้บางเรื่องแต่ว่าแท้ที่จริงเนื่องจากลำน้ำเป็นลำน้ำใหญ่ระดับนานาชาติผลกระทบที่มันไปอยู่ที่ประเทศอื่นนั้นก็เป็นเรื่องที่ไม่สามารถต่อสู้ได้เฉพาะประชาชนไทย
In Thailand, we have been talking about the issues of the Mekong Dam for some time, but of course, only Thai is not enough. This is the river that we all use together. Only the voice from the Thai people cannot stop or cannot really ask the crucial questions toward the project.
เพราะฉะนั้นประเทศใหญ่ๆหรือประเทศที่เหนือกว่าจะทำอะไรตามใจชอบไม่ได้ในลำน้ำโขง
So what I think is that the bigger countries in the region, you cannot decide by yourself without consulting the smaller countries. It's very important.
เรามีข้อตกลงระดับโลกมากมายที่ต้องการพิทักษ์ระบบนิเวศของโลกแล้วก็พิทักษ์สิทธิของชนพื้นเมืองในแต่ละประเทศ
Right now, there are so many convention or agreement among many countries in the world, to help together to protect the nature or to protect the resource that different countries have to use together.
จึงไม่ใช่แค่เกี่ยวข้องกับอาเซียนหรือประเทศในเอเชียแต่แท้ที่จริงแล้วมีมหาอำนาจระดับโลกมาร่วมลงทุนด้วย
So the situation that happening in the Mekong region, I don't think it's only the internal affair among all of us, because as you all know, the donors and the companies, the outside actors also play a very important role.
เพราะว่าตอนนี้เนี่ยโลกทั้งโลกกำลังแข่งขันกันว่าทิศทางการพัฒนาเศรษฐกิจที่แย่งชิงฐานทรัพยากรให้มากที่สุด
And you can notice that probably everyone looking at this region as the very big source of the natural resources, and everyone would like to get it.
ค่ะโดยคิดว่าเป็นเรื่องของสถานการณ์ปกติที่ใครมีทุนมากก็ลงทุนไปได้
So most of the people might think it's a normal thing. If you have more money, you can invest more, but it's not that simple.
วันนี้หลายประเทศไม่สามารถจะลุกขึ้นมาต่อรองเพื่อสิทธิของเขาได้โดยเฉพาะชนกลุ่มน้อยจำนวนมาก
I think the situation now is that in many countries, especially the small one, the local people in those countries cannot raise their voice by themselves. They cannot negotiate for their own right.
เพราะฉะนั้นขอเรียกร้อง 2-3 ข้อค่ะ
So I would like to have some requests.
วันนี้จีนเป็นประเทศมหาอำนาจทางเศรษฐกิจเกือบจะเรียกว่าระดับโลกแล้ว
Firstly, about China. Today, China became the very strong and powerful country in the region, and of course around the world.
ประเทศจีนจึงต้องมีพันธหน้าที่ที่จะต้องรับผิดชอบประชาชนในประเทศในเอเชียที่จะได้รับผลกระทบจากโครงการของประเทศจีน
So I think China need to have commitment in relate to what they are trying to do in their own investment and other things.
เพราะว่าการดำเนินงานใดๆในประเทศจีนล้วนแต่ส่งผลกระทบต่อลำน้ำโขงทั้งลำ
So China need to consider what they are doing, especially the thing that will give the impact to the mainstream of the Mekong.
ประเทศไทยในฐานะที่เป็นทั้งผู้สร้างผลกระทบแล้วก็เป็นทั้งประเทศที่จะได้รับผลกระทบด้วยตัวเอง
For Thailand itself, we are doing both. We create some kind of the project, and we also the one who have to bear the cost of that problem.
เพราะฉะนั้นรัฐบาลไทยวันนี้ในฐานะประเทศของผู้นำประธานของอาเซียนจะต้องแสดงจุดยืนที่ชัดเจนว่าต้องไม่เอาประโยชน์จากประเทศที่เล็กกว่า
So today we became the head of ASEAN, but I think we need to agree to this commitment, and we should not try to take away the resource from our neighboring smaller countries.
รัฐสภาไทยในฐานะประเทศประชาธิปไตยก็จะต้องตรวจสอบรัฐบาลไม่ใช่ปล่อยให้ดำเนินโครงการเมกะโปรเจกต์อย่างง่ายๆในลำน้ำโขง
We wish that the Thai Parliament have to do the check and balance. We need to keep monitoring what the Thai government trying to do in the Mekong region, and should not allow Thai government to just going around and cause the problem to our neighboring countries.
แล้วประชาชนไทยวันนี้แท้จริงได้ลุกขึ้นมาวิจารณ์โครงการนี้กันมากขึ้นเรื่อยๆแต่แท้จริงแล้วยังต้องร่วมมือกับประเทศพี่น้องที่อยู่ลำน้ำโขงด้วยกันตั้งแต่ประเทศจีนลงมารวมทั้งพม่าลาวกัมพูชาเวียดนามเนี่ยที่จะต้องลุกขึ้นมาคัดค้านแล้วปกป้องลำน้ำโขงจากโครงการที่ทำตามใจชอบ
So, and I wish that the people from all the Mekong country work hands in hand together to protect this river as our regional and international river together.
แล้วก็สุดท้ายนะคะคิดว่าประเทศหรือรัฐสภาของประเทศที่เป็นทุนนิยมก็จริงแต่ว่าน่าจะมีการคัดค้านไม่ให้ทุนของประเทศนั้นๆเนี่ยมาร่วมลงทุนตามใจชอบในลำน้ำโขงโดยคิดว่าเป็นเรื่องปกติของระบบทุนนิยม
And finally, I wish that even our international friends and international government who also now pushing their own investors and the company to the region, the civil society group in those international countries should try to work on your own government.
เพราะว่าสิทธิมนุษยชนเป็นเรื่องที่ทั่วโลกต้องรับผิดชอบร่วมกันค่ะ
Because the human rights is not only one country's thing, it's about the world and all the people.
Thank you, Kun Sini. And finally, we're very pleased to have Kun Sombat, who is the recipient of the 2005 Ramon Magsaysay Award, and this was in recognition of his vanguard role, often at great risk, in trying to expose some of the issues related to the rapid development according to the GMS plan in Lao PDR. So, Kun Sombat?
You can say that Laos is fortunate that it started its development rather late in the process. But also you look at it from the other point of view is that it's not a blessing, because when you study late, all your neighbors and the bigger countries are so powerful, so efficient in extracting whatever you have. By the time you blink your eyes, everything's gone in front of you already. My point I want to stress that now is that there's a linkage to whatever we do, and we oftentimes we do not want to admit that that linkage exists, because it's more convenient to see things in compartmentalized. For example, resources can be converted to cash, and cash, if you don't have enough, you convert to credit, and you don't have enough credit, you get someone to guarantee it, and you don't have something to guarantee it, you go and buy the resource from other countries so that you have more credit. And the credits actually fuels the consumerism, which is also fueled by competition nature of our system, which is also fueled and feed in by our